Up, it's your boy D, and we back at it with another one. I honestly couldn't tell you where I put my college degree at. I got this degree in economics, which is not a bad major. It could have been worse. I could have got underwater basket weaving or whatever. I could have got a major in bowling or something, or just a stupid major like a lot of people get. But I couldn't get a job out of college, bro. That's the only reason I'm in the situation I'm in. I own my own roofing company, and I'm just an entrepreneur, I guess you could say. So one thing I will say, guys, before we get right into that rejection, bro, whether it's a female, job opportunity, whatever, may just be your ticket to something that's greater than you ever could have thought of, But let's get right into it. Honestly, if you're outside of a STEM major, you youngins, if you guys are watching my channel, don't take my word for it, but just my advice, don't go to college. You're literally wasting 4 years of something where you can actually be putting all your focus into some skill or trade that could actually pay off instead of 4 years of just bullshit and getting fucked up. And yeah, honestly, college is really more of an experience thing. It's not the education's. It's not that. It's really you're just paying for the experience, bro. But let's get right into this.
University was one of the best ways to gain more knowledge, thus increasing one's influence, power, and impact on the world. So if that's the case, then why aren't young men deciding to go to college anymore? Nearly 60% of all college students today are women. US colleges and universities have lost about 1.5 million students in the past several years, and men accounted for 71% of that loss. In this video, I want to explore the largest reasons behind the decline in college enrollment, why men specifically are seeing less and less value in a degree, and how I think all of this is tied to the recent US election results. Since the beginning of the written language, information has only been reserved for the most educated or the most wealthy. If you wanted access to more of the resources that increased your wealth, status, and knowledge, you either had to be born into an aristocratic family or work hard in several different fields of study to prove you were competent enough to acquire a high-paying job. Eventually, as populations grew into the millions, the importance of establishing public education became a focal point of developing nations, and this led to the modern-day education system. The purpose of this system is now well known. By giving people more access to information that was previously only reserved for the few, a nation could train more of their society to be competent workers, thus making the average person more wealthy and contributing to the growth of that nation's economy as well. The modern-day education system has been around for a while now, and for a long time, most companies would look at a college degree as a sign that a worker is better suited to succeed at their company and make them money, which is reflected in how much more money college degree holders are making in 2024.
But nigga, how, bro? Nothing that you learn in college, bro, even translate to any fucking job, bro. You're not getting any on-job training, in school at all. So I don't understand how just because someone has this degree in this or they got this certain grade and knowing how to memorize, some concepts and answers to a test and just dump it on the test and then completely forget about it. I mean, I guess the ability to learn quickly or the ability to retain information and be tested on the information, I guess that's a fair point. But at the end of the day, bro, everybody's in the same playing field, whether you fucking are... I guess maybe not an engineer. I guess there may be some real applicable stuff, but for the most part, though, most people don't even have job. They wouldn't even have that job experience, bro. So the only way you would be able to learn is right on the job. So how can people during the hiring process determine which one will succeed? Only way you would know is whatever.
Even though you are technically almost guaranteed to make more money with a degree, what has changed in the past decade or two is the benefit to cost ratio and the importance of a degree to employers. You see, once work shifted primarily from physical labor to knowledge-based work, aka work that requires you to think for a living using decision-making, problem-solving, and analysis, universities became the main source of providing more of these workers to these newly evolved companies. With more and more companies requiring a university-based education, this skyrocketed the amount of young people going to college, thus causing what has been coined degree inflation. It's basically what happened when many jobs, which previously never needed degrees, started started requiring them. In theory, this was supposed to help companies due to them having more employees with college degrees, the thing that is associated with more competent workers. But college wasn't really preparing people for real-world applications, and in many cases...
Bingo. What I tell y'all? Bingo.
It still doesn't. By
Picture this. You're sitting at home alone watching YouTube videos, wondering why you can't find the motivation to do the things you need or want.
By 2019, 87% of companies worldwide reported that they either already had skill gaps in their workforce or expected to experience them within a few years.
Hold up. Yeah, we gotta change. We gotta switch the account.
It is often said that knowledge is as a sign that a worker is better suited to succeed at their company and make them money, which is reflected in how much more money college degree holders are making in 2024. But even though you are technically almost guaranteed to make more money with a degree, competent workers. But college wasn't really preparing people for real-world applications, and in many cases, it still doesn't. By 2019, 87% of companies worldwide reported that they either already had skill gaps in their workforce or expected to experience them within a few years. In the same year, only 27% of small companies and 29% of large companies believed they had the right talent for digital transformation. And the future employees themselves weren't happy with how college was preparing them either. In 2015, a UK study found that 92% of students wanted work experience opportunities to be a part of their university degree, but less than half had access to them. And by this point, due to how high the supply was in the job market for people with 4-year degrees, people weren't guaranteed the same amount of opportunities to get a job right out of college as people were in the 80s or 90s. In 2022, almost 40% of recent college grads were underemployed in the United States, and this was after most grads had a significant financial investment in their studies. Now, not only are you competing with the best of degree holders in the job market, but you're also paying an exorbitant amount of money more to get that degree. Since the 1980s, the cost of college has risen by nearly 200%, while the average earnings for those aged 22 to 27 haven't even come close to rising at the same rate. And we can't discuss the value of a college education today without also considering how the ways in which we acquire information has changed since the 1980s. With the dawn of the digital age, having access to any and every book, language, and other resources.
Yeah, speaking of that, bro, there's some YouTube videos I've seen that provided more information in a fucking 30-minute video than the 4 years that I went to school, bro. Like, I'm serious. You can't make this shit up, bro. The biggest, most overrated scam thing of all time was college. It's genius, though, but it's the most overrated, biggest scam ever, bro. But yeah, people are still sending their kids to college. It's crazy, man. Like, just what the fucking the Matrix does, man. It just pulls you in. But keep in mind, though, a lot of people really aren't built to really. A lot of people are just built to be cogs, bro. And that's just a stepping stone to being that good cog in the machine. And a lot of people are built to that instead of being the ones who employ cogs in the machine. It's not so many people that are built for that.
Resources at one's fingertips, the ability to acquire highly specialized, real-world knowledge grew exponentially. Knowledge was no longer reserved for the ultra-wealthy before public education, or even only for those who went through the typical path of formal education when that became the most popular. If you wanted to learn something that the market deemed to be valuable and make money to provide for yourself and those around you, you could do it with just your phone and an internet connection. The companies hiring the workers taking advantage of the digital age began to notice this trend as well, and this spawned what is now referred to as the degree reset that we are currently in. The degree reset is a term coined by the Burning Glass Institute that is used to describe employers' shift away from acquiring a 4-year degree within their hiring process. A recent study found that 45% of employers have already removed the college degree requirement for certain roles, and 72% prioritize candidates' skills and experience over degrees.
As it should be, bro. As it fucking should be. Some of the dumbest people I've ever met have degrees. Seriously. Some of the dumbest people I've ever met have degrees. Some of the smartest people I've ever met either dropped out of school or they didn't even go to college, bro. So, schools just like, I don't understand what the emphasis and the whole big point of being able to memorize something, take a test. Like, bro, there's no really critical thinking involved with that shit, bro. It's just really rote memorization or step by step how to solve certain formulas. There's not really any critical thinking. And it has no application to touching grass. So I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Report by the Burning Glass Institute themselves found that 46% of middle skill and 31% of high skill jobs had experienced degree resets between 2017 and 2019. The trend is now clear. We no longer live in a college-driven labor market. We live in a skills-driven labor market. That is what is making a degree less valuable, and I can only imagine that statistic of college degree holders earning more than those without a degree is only going to become more obsolete in the future. There are loads of amazing resources out there on the internet to learn skills that lead to high-paying jobs, and I want to show you guys one that I've been using recently, which is the sponsor of today's video, Masterclass. Masterclass is a platform of teachers at the highest level of their dropping steadily for both genders, and I needed to present these things because they apply just as much to both genders. But none of these reasons explain why men specifically are enrolling in college so much less than women. And on top of that, when men do enroll...
Well, I know why. Maybe because most of these campuses pretty much seem to alienate men. They're more female-driven campuses. I don't know. Maybe men just have that common sense, and they don't have that high mentality to think for themselves and realize, what the hell am I going here for? Where I won't be appreciated, and even when I get out of school, I still, even if I'm going to Harvard, I still might end up working at Starbucks. Like, come on, man. Hey, someone's got to tell it how it is, man. Someone's got to tell it how it is. Aren't you being tired of being lied to? Because I can guarantee most of you guys, most of your lives, you've been lied to. Myself included. Most of us have all been, we've all been lied to. I won't even say most. We've all been lied to. Let's just keep it a beam.
They aren't finishing their 4 years of college as often as women either. What is it about college that is so unattractive to young men right now? Well, I think it has everything to do with our current masculinity crisis and the culture surrounding college campuses. For several hundred years, the biggest advocates for college were some of the most powerful men in the world. George Washington once said, "The best means of forming a manly, virtuous, and happy people will be found in the right education of youth. Without this foundation, every other means, in my opinion, must fail." But now when men look around their classrooms, how they're being taught, and who is teaching them, it all signals much more femininity than masculinity. There's a sociology term called white flight that I first discovered when I came across this article about why male college enrollment is dropping that I will be referencing for the remainder of this video. White flight is a term that describes how white people move out of neighborhoods when more people of color move in, and when minority populations become the majority, it usually follows that that neighborhood decreases in value. From this term, another similar one spawned out of it, male flight. Male flight describes the phenomenon in which men start leaving a profession, group, hobby, or industry when it reaches a certain percentage of women. And the tipping point appears to be when women reach 60% of that profession or industry. Let's take veterinary school, for example. In 1969, almost all veterinary students were male at 89%. By 1987, male enrollment was equal to female at 50%. And by 2009, male enrollment in veterinary schools had plummeted to just 22.4%. As soon as women start to dominate a certain industry...
That's straight like that, though. That's real, bro. I don't even... Bro, I just got this puppy who annoys the living hell out of me. She's locked up right now because she can't keep her paws to herself and her teeth off of my stuff. So, I almost strangled her. Anyways, you only see female vets. When I take her to the vet to get her vaccines and stuff, they're all female. It's only females from there, bro.
That industry is seen as more feminine, not even because of the nature of the industry itself, but because of who occupies that industry the most. Now, there's definitely some arguments to be made about whether this would always be the case. For example, if we were to take like construction workers and 70% of construction workers became women, would we then view construction as a feminine thing? Not sure about that, but the point remains
that would never happen, bro. Well, you know, women talk about equal rights, equality, and all that stuff. If there's job postings like saying we don't want to hire no more men for construction, we only want to hire women, how many women would sign up for that? Oh, I know the answer. They wouldn't.
One more woman applying was an even greater deterrent than $1,000 in extra tuition. Add that on top of the fact that a long time ago, the profession of teaching as a whole became quite female-dominated, and 100%. It's no wonder why young men view the college experience as an antagonist to their masculinity. A Quora answer by the user Chris Bren provides further explanation. Because the concept of school is feminine. In Spanish, school is escuela, ending in a, which is a feminine. Think about what you do at school. You sit down, you accept that you don't know shit, and you accept that your teacher is right and you have to shut up and listen. Obedience is what school requires.
Which is why I never cared about school, bro. That makes so much sense, bro. I remember I was 13. I told my teacher to shut up. She was this female teacher. Look, it wasn't just females. I remember when I was 12, we was blowing balloons and shit. Whole class was, bro, but like this Asian nigga, Mr. Cruz, I remember. I don't know how he was Asian. His last name was Cruz. I don't know, but this Asian nigga, Mr. Cruz, decided to take it upon himself to, but let's point out this black guy over here. I'll just keep using that race card. I don't know if it was that reason, but I said, bet. I took the balloon. He was like, yeah, stop blowing the balloon. I was like, bet. I blew it. I took it out, put it in my mouth. Chew it, spit it out. Boom! How you like those apples? I remember my dad tore my ass up though. I remember he tore my ass up. But yeah, I didn't really go for that shit from a young age, bro. I just always knew I was different, bro.
Is a feminine trait. What is masculine is standing up in the classroom and saying, fuck this shit, I'm gonna do it my way. You're wrong. Yep. I'm right. I'm not gonna listen to you. That is a very masculine thing to do, and that's why men who are on average more masculine essentially do that. There's definitely a bit of truth to that statement, but really this issue is less about the nature of education itself and much more to do with the lack of positive role models in higher education. You see, curriculums in school are not meant to empower men to embrace their masculine features. More often than not, they teach men about the more gruesome sides of masculinity that history highlights more than the positives. Just like that Quora comment said, a lot of the college experience teaches men to not speak up, to be obedient, and to not...
We get the fucking point. Let's see what these comments is talking about. Yeah, 100%. Knowledge has become more of a business rather than education. I regret going to college despite of schizophrenia and dropping out of college because of delusions and other symptoms. Now I am in a small factory with a low salary but many nice and friendly coworkers. I value the friendly coworkers more than working with proud people with a degree. Fair enough. There's also tons of programs giving women in college an advantage in scholarships, university acceptance, and groups specific to women for professional development. The same does not apply to men in a real way, at least my experience of when I went. Excuse me. And are we just supposed to learn useless shit until we owe money and have a piece of paper we don't use? All right, that summed it up, bro. Yeah, any youngins watching, bro, unless you're trying to be a doctor or a lawyer, bro, or whatever, bro, if you want to go to college just to have the experience, sure, bro, but, like, at the end of the day, bro, I promise you, like, with the shit that actually matters, which, I mean, some youngins probably don't even give a fuck about that. They're just trying to fuck bitches, you know, drink till their fucking face turns I don't know, the colors, Henny or whatever. Yeah, it's I promise you, it won't be worth it. And yeah, I really don't got nothing else to say, but things just be looking worse and worse for guys, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Things just be looking more and more cooked for men. If you follow the traditional fucking way of doing things. Remember this. Everything you've been told, I'd honestly make the point that everything that you've been told, just do the opposite. Hey, man. Another day to be ungrateful. I'm signing off, man.